Hello, and I'm actually filming in portrait mode. Someone's going to scream at me for filming in portrait mode and not landscape, but whatever. I'm sitting here, so I thought that, you know, it just made more sense to film in portrait mode. Also, I don't really care about what I look like in a video like this. That doesn't really matter, so anyone who's going to complain about the video not being in 1080p or not being in portrait mode can sincerely fuck off. So, I don't mean to be antagonistic so early on, but I do want to talk about some things. So it's been kind of a hell of a year, honestly, and not a good one. And I've kind of like avoided talking about a lot of personal stuff. I've kind of, you know, moved away from that. I tried to make more commentary. I've done a lot of reaction videos. I've done a lot of different types of videos. I've gotten actually a ton of views on some of my videos. It's been crazy, which I never thought I would be getting. And you know, the more views you get, the higher quality people expect your videos to be. So it's kind of hard to live up to expectation. But basically, I just kind of wanted to explain like what's been going on with me personally, what's been going on with like, I guess, I wouldn't say lack of uploads, but I've had periods of time where I don't upload anything for a long time. I did explain, you know, the whole thing about not doing top 20 ranked for like 5 months. That was a thing that happened. I keep promising videos and then not releasing them. So yeah, I do really want to talk about that, and I want to talk about what's been going on and just some of the stuff I have not opened up about publicly. So yeah, so I'll, you know, specifically if I get to something that's, you know, upsetting or whatever, I'll specifically, you know, say that in advance so you guys can click away if you're, you know, triggered, whatever. But yeah, so basically this entire year I was supposed to travel this summer. I was supposed to go to Vermont for a program. I was supposed to go to New York. I was really excited. I went to New York last year. I really love it. I miss it. And I was supposed to move out this fall. I was supposed to have a job and get everything under control and move out this fall. And that's not going to be happening because of the coronavirus. So the summer program in Vermont I actually did online. So it was actually a really good experience still. I met a lot of people, you know, that was good. That was in July. So I actually did that online, really realizing that online classes are clicking for me. I'm probably not going to be moving out this year. I will be getting a job soon. So the good news is that I'm working with a case manager to help me with, you know, getting a job and getting all that, because I did turn 18 in in June, sorry. So I'm going to be working with a case manager. I have been working with a case manager. I'm still seeing my therapist, but then I had an insurance change at my other therapist. I couldn't see her anymore, and I couldn't see my psychiatrist for about 4 months. And I just got a new psychiatrist. So hopefully I'll be able to fix my meds. We're going to wait a little bit because I'm doing all right at the moment, but we're going to wait a little bit and then might fix my meds later on. Because we don't want to change anything up right now. I'm seeing a new psychiatrist because I got a new insurance. Again, I'm 18, I don't have a job. There's a lot of stress, financial pressure. I don't know, I have opened up about this before, but I'm autistic, and I, you know, had a OCD misdiagnosis and had like a whole bunch of, I mean, I still have a lot of time to be reflective, introspective, you know, thinking about religion, I've opened up about my personal life before, that I lost my mom to cancer now 3 years ago, and, you know, basically that I had no childhood. I didn't really have friends. I, you know, felt like I was really isolated. Like I had overprotective parents, I guess. And I was homeschooled. I had no siblings, so it's just kind of like I was very unexposed to the outside world, and I kind of just wish I had been more exposed, because I kind of got judgy from a certain very narrow-minded worldview that I had. Which, you know, I did grow out of that, which is why I encourage parents to it's okay if you want to raise your kids with certain values, but don't force it on them, and at least let them be exposed to other ideas. But, yeah, so it's something that I still really struggle with, you know, dealing with that and all the things I can't talk to her about. And, I have been in therapy. I've been in therapy for that for years. I'm working on it. Now, I want to say, I don't know if I mentioned how last year was for me, but that I lost, you know, had some close family friends, and he passed away in July, and she passed away in October, and she was extremely good person, one of my mom's best friends, just an extremely amazing person, and it didn't really, like, hit me at the time, because it was just, I was already going through so much, but, like, now, you know, when I have time to just think about it, and it really hits me, and it's hard. because she was someone I was able to really talk to with all my feelings. And it's really hard because you have that like special, like exceptional person in your life, and she was that person. So honestly, it really hurts. I just feel like I had a lot of loss, a lot of death in my family last year, or just people I knew, family, friends, whatever. I want to also really be clear, yeah, I am talking about death. I apologize if that's triggering. It's going to be getting worse later, but I just kind of want to say all that. So it's something that has been really hard. And then at the beginning of the year, I was actually doing really well mentally. I was doing great in like February-ish. I was doing really good, which is actually abnormal because I'm usually very depressed around winter time, and I'll be getting to that, in a bit. But I was actually doing really great, and then I had a showcase planned for March, and we went to Virginia because we traveled because my dad had a business trip, and I got back from Virginia, and like 2 days later, the coronavirus completely hit. It was already a thing, but like the lockdown started, it was declared a national emergency, everything hit. My show got indefinitely postponed, ended up getting completely canceled. The show that I had been practicing 8 weeks for, my dance show, which was supposed to be my last show at my dance school, and then I quit, and I ended up quitting. And actually, I'm honestly missing it like crazy, because Irish dance, that's something that I part of me almost wants to like re-enroll this fall, but I can't because it's too late. It's already the middle of August. My aunt, because I'm not going anywhere, I don't have to move, so it's like. But you know what? I'll have work and stuff. It's just I really want to re-enroll. I just miss dance. I miss dance class. I miss my friends. I miss the school. Like my Irish dance class. Because I quit. I was planning on quitting anyway because I was planning on having a job or moving out this fall, and then that's not happening. I am probably gonna have a job, but you get the point. So it was like I was planning on quitting anyway, but I didn't even get to say goodbye because it was just like the show got canceled, and then I just stopped coming to class, and then they had class on Zoom, and I just didn't go. So I was just not okay. So the March thing completely crashed my mental health. My mom's birthday is in March. I know it's really random, but it was like a week after the coronavirus. I was feeling so distraught, so I was like, I can't do this. This is so hard. When everything just suddenly shut down, it was just such a bizarre experience that I never experienced. So obviously, I know everyone is in this, and I'm not trying to single myself out as, oh my god, it was so traumatizing. I'm not trying to be that person, but it did really fuck up my mental health. Which has been like, the middle of February was like the best it had been in like 3 years, literally, because I was a teenager, my mom had cancer, my mom passed away, and then it was just a mess. I talked about this before, I had really bad depression, so I didn't finish school. I had depression, like I couldn't get things done on my own schedule because I'm homeschooled, and I couldn't like read, I couldn't concentrate. What I can do is do online classes, and that's what I should have done the whole time, but I didn't because I'm dumb. And we didn't really talk through, so they kept passing me, and even though I shouldn't have been passed. And basically, I am a rising senior, but I'm not going back to school. I'm the age to be a graduating senior, but I'm aged to graduate, but I don't have the hours because I basically didn't do my work. I did co-op. I'm gonna miss co-op too, honestly. I'm gonna miss dance and co-op. I feel really bad, like homeschool co-op, just because like I can't go back, and it's just like there's no school this fall, so it's like, am I just gonna be stuck in depression? I'm really, really hoping I'll find work that is like so utterly important, not only for financial reasons, but because I desperately need a distraction, especially as fall and winter come on, and I'll be getting to that as well. But I really, really need a distraction. And I'm trying, and right now my mental health is doing a bit better than it was in the spring. I'm working on it. I've been, having some good experiences. I've been really working on my mental health. I've been trying my best to work on it. Like I said, I just got a new psychiatrist. Things are starting to look up, but we have fall and winter coming up, so yeah. But like I said, I've had anxiety all my life, and depression only really developed after my mom passed away, and it's been moderate to the point where I'm going to start talking about some things that are like really not safe. So if I'm going to use words, uncensored words, so if you don't want to hear about it, then just click away, because I'm going to be talking about it more here. So when I was younger, I always kind of had this impression that depression was this thing that was like, it always looked the same. Like depression is like people who are like suicidal all the time, or who like self-harm, or like just hate themselves, or just all the time just constantly suicidal, or like something like that. That's what I always hear, because like depression in the media is like, like someone who is like, constantly suicidal or self-harming or something like that. Also had the impression that, because I was raised Christian, I had the impression that, oh, if you're Christian, if you're with God, like, you'll be good, right? Like, you'll be Gucci. So, like, the people who were depressed or self-harm are the goth kids, the kids who don't know God, the kids who, are on drugs, and, like, I know it sounds really skeevy, but it's what I used to think, because I was a kid. I was, like, 13. That's just what I was, like, raised to think. I mean, like, I came to my own conclusions based on the beliefs I was raised in, and my own conclusions were pretty stupid. So, I was under this impression that, like, depression is, like, this terrible, like, oh, you're always want to die, like, situation. And for some people it is, like, there is very severe depression where people are, in a state of being constantly suicidal or constantly whatever, and that is a thing, and it needs to be validated and recognized, and self-harm is a huge fucking problem. Those two things need to be validated and recognized, absolutely, but it's not the only form of depression that exists, and I kind of feel like that's how the media, like, portrays depression. So, but I want to talk about an experience that really opened my eyes when I was about 16, I think. No, I wasn't 16, because my mom was still alive. I would have been 14, actually. It was probably 2016, that's why I had 16 in my mind. I was about 14, and so when I was about, I'll say 10, 11, I don't remember how old I was, but my dad would, when he had 3 jobs and wasn't home all the time, and I was just home with my mom and I had no friends, it was a really miserable time for me, because I didn't have a cell phone and I had no way to contact my friends, and my dad was like, oh, you could have just let me know and I could have called their mom and, like, had them come over, and I'm like, but you were never home, and my mom didn't offer, so, like, I'm getting sidetracked. He's apologized for not paying enough attention, but he was working, like, 3 jobs at one point, and the one job he had was a temporary, it was like a spring job, but he was directing plays at a Christian private school. So this private school, they were, kindergarten through 8th grade, so after 8th grade you would graduate and go on to whatever high school your parents sent you to, whatever, right? So, so this Christian school, so they would put on plays, and my dad would direct the school play, so they hired him 3 years in a row to direct a school play. And this was, I think, maybe 2013. I don't remember which year it was. It might have been 2012. I don't actually remember. But my dad directed, I want to say it was 2013. I genuinely don't remember. I'm sorry. But my dad directed The Hobbit at the school. Okay. And I know this is, like, completely unrelated, but I'll explain, what happened, but he directed The Hobbit, and this kid was his lead, was Bilbo in the play. And I didn't know the kid super well, but he seemed like a nice kid. He was in 8th grade at the time, and so my dad would, like, help, build sets and stuff, and he built, like, a big dragon, and, like, I helped him with it, because I had nothing to do when I was that age other than school. I was bored. I just, I'd help my dad with it because I wanted to hang out with my dad, because, like, he was never home, and then my mom was always home, so it's like I wanted to hang out with my dad, and I would, like, help him build the thing. So there's a picture somewhere, I don't know where it is, but there's a picture of me, Tristan, the kid's name is Tristan, and my dad, just with the dragon that he built. Or I'm not even sure if my dad's in the picture, because it might have just been me and Tristan, because my dad might have taken it. I don't remember. There's a picture somewhere of it. So that was, I never really knew, like I said, I never really knew Tristan, but his grandmother, I knew his grandmother from a completely different background. Like, I just knew her from somewhere completely different. She was in a band that I knew. It's really random, but I just happened to know her, and then it happened to be her grandson that was in the play. I remember, so this was in 2016, this was about 3 or 4 years later. We were, we went to see the band, we went to the festival, whatever we were doing, and my parents started talking to his grandmother about stuff that was going on, because at this point my mom was pretty sick with cancer and was, telling her what had happened, like, oh, I've been diagnosed with cancer and I'm having surgery, blah, 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 because she had brain surgery, and of course that didn't save her in the end, but it's one of those terrible fucking things. They shouldn't have gone to the brain in the first place. They would only had a 3% chance. They should have caught it earlier. There's so many things that I could just get angry about. It's not hereditary, so I'm not going to get it, but I'm just explaining. So, you know, they were talking, and they were, like, something about your tragedy, or, like, your, like, what's gone on in your life, and I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know what had happened to their family. So, I was really confused. So, you know, we went home, you know, we got in the car, we went home, and, my parents told me, you know, about, because he was a senior at the time, about Tristan, and that he had, committed suicide, and I was really disturbed. Like I said, I didn't really know him, but, again, he seemed like a nice kid. You know, he was Christian, and he'd actually said he had wanted to be with Jesus. And, you know, regardless of what your beliefs are, clearly he must have had something going on, must have been very depressed, you know. I don't know the situation completely, but the fact that this happened, was really upsetting to me. Again, I didn't know who this person was. I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't know him. But the fact that someone would, you know, someone to me, like someone who's Christian, someone, you know, I was thinking, oh, you're Gucci, right? You're fine. Like, I don't mean like you're Gucci, like you're gonna go to heaven. I mean you're Gucci, like you'll be okay from depression, or you can just pray it away or some shit. And that's not how that works. And it was a really eye-opening experience to me. I know this was like years ago, but it's just something that I think really did make me realize, oh, this kind of thing doesn't discriminate. So, also that cancer doesn't discriminate. But going back to what I was saying, after my mom passed away, I started getting really depressed. And what I mean by that is I was sad. Obviously, I was angry. I wasn't really allowing myself to be sad. I was kind of bottling up emotions. I was kind of angry. I was either angry or numb, basically. And I, specifically, what happened was that I started being really tired all the time. I started being fatigued. Like, when I was a little kid, I could never sleep. I used to have terrible insomnia, actually. And I could only sleep at night when it was dark. Under very specific circumstances, I had, like, a security blanket. I had all this stuff, right? And I had to be in pajamas, like, very specific. The only time I can ever remember sleeping during the day was when I was sick. Like, one time I was sick when I was a kid. That's the only time I can ever remember sleeping during the day. So, and by the way, if I sound congested, I have, like, allergies. I don't know what I'm allergic to, but it's been pretty bad. So, anyway, yeah. So, I don't remember ever being sick. Like, I mean, I remember being sick. I have not been sick in, like, a year, and I'm really glad. I don't want to get sick, so I'm gonna get my flu shots, because they have flu shots now at CVS. Get flu, but I'm like, I don't want to get the flu. I don't want to get anything. I don't get the flu. I got a cold last year, and that's all I got. So I'm like, I don't want to be sick. I'm not gonna get sick. Yay. I have, like, hand sanitizer. I always like, I'm like, people are just filthy. Like, people don't wash their hands. People do whatever. I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, I think that I was saying about being that I started having, like, terrible fatigue. Like, I used to be able to sleep, so I'd be trying to do my schoolwork. I would have, like, Spanish. I'd have, like, my Spanish thing up, or, like, my math thing. I'd have something, like, up on my computer, and I'd be lying on the bed with my laptop up, and then I would get really tired, and I'd be, like, in jeans, like just, like, a normal, like, in jeans, like, not even, whatever, in jeans with full lights on. I would just fall asleep. I would just, like, doze off, you know, and be like, I'm so tired, like, I have to sleep now. And it was, like, the middle of the day, middle of, like, me trying to do my schoolwork, and that's why I wasn't getting my schoolwork done. And I honestly feel, like, guilty about this. I kept promising I would get things done, because I kept thinking it would get better, and it didn't, and I never made good on those promises. And it's because I was just not capable of setting my own boundaries, not capable of scheduling, because my dad wasn't home. I had to do the work on my own, or for any classes that I was doing by myself, and my dad didn't set strict deadlines, because he only had certain times to grade it. So it would be like, you know, if you get your work in, don't get in. I had co-op classes. That was what I did. That worked out pretty well for me. But I would get my homework done for those classes. But even that was hard. And it was just like, because I only did co-op twice a week. And it was just really hard for me because I just remember I was like so fatigued and I couldn't figure out why. And I was so fatigued and I just had like such a low like mood. Like I didn't want to see friends. I didn't want to like do anything. I had like, or I wanted to see friends, but I had like no energy to do it. I had like, such a low mood. This was when I really started questioning, you know, myself like religiously because I felt like, you know, we prayed that this cancer would go away and we prayed out stuff and it didn't work for me. So, it was something that I kind of really just, you know, I was going through a really hard time. I was questioning that, and then the whole thing, you know, I just felt like no one really cared, or like none of my friends, like I didn't belong. Like I just had this sense of not belonging where I live, and I still kind of feel that way. I have, you know, having online friends and having, you know, being able to do certain things, I've been able to kind of, you know, work with that in the temporary time that I'm kind of stuck here. But overall, and I've gotten to the point where I'm like having to accept, you know, hey, these are my beliefs and my opinions now. They're not going to be the same as how I was raised. They're not going to be the same as everybody's opinions, but I can respect people who are in different beliefs and we don't have to fight about it, right? That's like, you know, that's kind of the conclusion I've come to. Like, why not hang out with this girl? She's being nice to me. Like, just because she's a Christian and she's like a goody two shoes, or, you know, she doesn't swear or whatever, that doesn't mean I shouldn't hang out with her. Like, you know, it's like, I'm at that point where I'm like trying to just be accepting of like everyone, and just, you know, really, it's been a real struggle for me, you know, because I'm kind of have like a lot of paranoia and stuff attached to Christianity because of just how I was raised. It really affected me like badly, like just the whole, like I have this second guessing, like, oh, I don't believe I'm gonna go to hell, like, and I just want to say, I don't care what you believe about hell or heaven or God or death or whatever. I genuinely don't care what you believe, as long as you're a good human being and you don't judge people and don't push your beliefs on them. But please don't comment anything down below like, oh, you're gonna go to hell if you think this or that, because please don't, or try to like convert me back to Christianity, because that will just cause me anxiety. So please don't comment anything like that. If you are Christian and you're watching this, please don't comment anything like that. I'm working through on my own, and I'm gonna have my own beliefs, and my philosophy at the end of the day is you're not gonna know what happens until you happen, and the only people who know what happens when we die are dead people, and they can't tell us. So like, and trust me, this isn't the last time I'm gonna be talking about death. But yeah, so it's a situation that I think is really important to remember. But I kind of got to that point where I was like questioning my own reality, but I was also making new friends. I was learning so many new experiences just by going online, social media. You know, I was getting so many new experiences. I had some really fucked up experiences on social media. I'm not gonna go into those stories right now. I did tell the story about my getting catfished by the girl who, you know, pretended to be depressed for clout. I told you about that. I have not. I don't think I told. I went into details about my groomer, but that did happen. Thankfully, it didn't go very far, but I think in the future I will make a video about that, about the guy who tried to groom me on Twitter when I was 16. So yeah, so that's just fucked up. Me, you know, being nice, giving people the benefit of the doubt, and giving social cues. And there's actually a recent one that I want to tell to you, but it needs a little more context, and I'm going to be getting to that in a minute. So what I'm saying is that I started to really think, man, I really think I'm depressed. I think I have depression. Like, this is really bad. I think I'm depressed. And I was like, but I wasn't like suicidal or anything. Like, I wasn't like, man, I want to die. I just had like no goals for the future. I just had like no plans. I was just like depressed, and I was anxious, you know, like, oh my gosh, I get stressed about like, oh, the world's gonna end, or like climate change, or like, I mean, I get anxious about all sorts of things. Like, honestly, I see just like all sorts of things on like Twitter, which like make me anxious. That's why I don't really go on Twitter anymore. Also, just the toxic people, toxicity. I don't really go on Twitter anymore. I've had to take a lot of steps in terms of social media and notifications and what I look at, because social media is really helpful for me because I can express myself. I have plenty of amazing friends, mainly on Instagram, but I've had to take a lot of steps into what I can look at, what I can watch, what I can follow, because it just stresses me out too much. But anyway, so I started to realize, I think I'm depressed, but I'm not like suicidal. I'm not like, man, I want to die. I'm just miserable. And it was just like, I'm just miserable and I have no energy. And there wasn't anything I could do about it. Like, I just had like no future. I was just like, everything sucks. Like, damn. And in 2018, I was in a car accident. It wasn't severe, but, you know, that impeded any hope of me ever learning to drive. Just fuck no, never, not, I'm out. But when I went to New York last year, I thought, hey, I could really live here. I could really live in a city, you know, just like, when I'm older, you know, after this pandemic happens, that is going to be my plan. So, you know, I've been really working on it overall, trying to get better, but there's been so much stuff that's happened. And then this year was going to be the year I was really going to turn my life around. But then, of course, the pandemic happened. So, and the pandemic won't last forever, but I've had a lot of really negative thoughts about the pandemic. Like, because I have bad anxiety. So, like, I'll have, like, irrational thoughts, like, this is going to last forever, or what if this happens? What if this happens? What if there's another pandemic? Blah, 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 right? So, I have, like, these irrational thoughts. And then that will turn into depression. So I'll let those thoughts spiral to like a worst case scenario, and then I'll like almost like convince myself that that is the worst case scenario, that like like if I convince myself, oh, it will be like this for the rest of my life, like this will never end. If I convince myself of that, which is not true, but if I convince myself of that, then I will eventually start feeling that it's real. And I have this like, I guess like grip on rationality, where some people who are really anxious or depressed don't anymore. Like they're at a point where they can't, you know, and that's why people, you know, are in positions where they would be in a position, you know, to hurt themselves or something, you know, it's because you don't have a grip on rationality anymore. I have a grip, I have like some idea of like, okay, I know this is a rational thought, but I still can't shake it. And when I can't shake it, then I get really depressed, because I'm like, this is just how it is. And I'm kind of like, and it's not like so much like, oh, I want to die. It's like, what's the point of living? Like, seriously, like, what is the point? Because like, I would never be happy. That was kind of thoughts I was having during the March, April lockdown, during the pandemic. I mean, obviously we're still in a pandemic, but like, you know, during the worst of it, the March, April lockdown, I had some really dark thoughts. I'm not going to go into what they were, but I just remember I kind of snapped when I hadn't been outside in like 3 weeks. I kind of snapped. I had some really, really dark thoughts. And again, there's just been a lot of anxiety overall about like money and like personal things and blah, 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 blah. So, but I did finally get a lot of things dealt with. I finally got my debit card. I got my ID. I got, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things that I have gotten done. And I think I've learned to be better about appreciating, you know, my accomplishments instead of nitpicking every little failure in my life. Like, another example is, you know, I used to just say I was ugly all the time. And I'm like, I don't know why I did this. Like, I don't know, did I actually think I was ugly? Was I just trying to bring myself down? Like, I don't know what the point was. Like, it's just, when I was depressed, just everything sucked. I was, like, everything sucked. And it was just, like, now I'm, like, I try to give myself, like, more, you know, I try to be nice to myself. I try to be like, hey, you need to, like, you know, acknowledge what you have done and how far you have come, instead of thinking about all the shit you were supposed to do that you didn't do. You know what I mean? Because it's like, and I'm realizing, like, things are going slower than I wanted them to, and that's okay. That is okay. I need the time to, you know, get myself together to figure out. I mean, it's given me, the pandemic has given me a lot of time to think, and some of that did not go to great places, but it really is something that, you know, I do, like, I'm saying with depression and stuff, it's been a lot better recently, but again, it was really bad in like March, April during the lockdown. And I do have like future goals now. I have plans. Like, I'm in a better position overall than I was, you know, like 2 years ago, even 1 year ago probably. I'm like a better mental state overall. But there's just been a lot of bad stuff. So I want to talk about, you know, kind of moving into some of my interests, you know, that I got into K-pop, you know, pretty hardcore. In this year, when, you know, it was a little bit before the pandemic, but then it was just kind of like escapism for me. But it's not really escapism, because there's a lot of shit that is, you know, because I was struggling with mental illness anyway, and then some of the stuff I was reading about, some of the stuff I was hearing about was, you know, kind of messed up. I remember when I first got into K-pop, I have like Blackpink posted here, but I would watch videos about Blackpink's mistreatment. I would watch videos about like how Blackpink had been mistreated. I watched a video about like Jimin from BTS, like his weight loss, his dieting. That's why I made a video about that. If you recall me talking about the dieting and all that. But it's something that, you know, really did upset me, but I kind of wanted to know, like, hey, what's going on in the industry? Like, what is actually going on that's fucked up? And I don't think K-pop is uniquely fucked up. I think the whole entertainment industry is completely fucked up. This shit happens a lot, but it's something that there's a lot of fucked up stuff that goes on, and it really upset me when I was reading about it. So I'm just gonna put like another, I don't like another trigger warning. I think this entire video is just triggering because I've been talking about death and suicide for like the entire fucking video, so it's not even anything. But yeah, so yeah, I kind of want to talk about something, you know, how I got into like certain groups, because like, you know, I listened to Blackpink ages ago, I listened to FX ages ago, but I didn't like keep up with them. And then like this year, you know, BTS was like the first boy group I got into, so I started like rapid fire like educating myself on different boy groups and different, not just boy groups, different groups in general, different like you know, I started rapid fire educating myself on different groups, and I was really intrigued. And I will watch like videos about like, I guess like dark stuff, because I just always find it interesting. Like I find this stuff informative. Like I like watching true crime videos. There's nothing to do with K-pop, it's just something that I like watching. It was actually really funny the other day. This is completely unrelated to anything, but I saw somebody post something about cannabis, and I thought it said cannibals. I was like, what the fuck? But anyway, I'm putting it off. So let me just go back to what I was saying. I, you know, slowly I was recommended, I'm going to talk about SHINee, and I was recommended Taemin. You know, Taemin is legendary, and I had Taemin recommended to me. I heard, oh, he's this great dancer, you know, he's, you know, I was interested because I loved Jimin, you know, Jimin from BTS, and I loved his dancing, so I kind of was interested in Taemin for that reason. But I just remember, I don't actually remember what the video was, but I was just watching some video about, different like mental illness cases, and like I'd heard about Sulli. I don't remember at that point if I had made the connection that Sulli was an FX. I remember when I did make the connection, that was like really, really alarming to me, because like I remember when Goo Hara died, and I'll tell you why I remember this, because I was on Twitter. I did not follow K-pop at the time, other than like I knew who BTS was, I knew who Blackpink was, but like in 2019, like I did not follow K-pop at the time, but I was on Twitter and someone like reposted, I don't even know how I ran across it, that Goo Hara had died, and I didn't know who she was, but she was a K-pop star. And I remember when this happened, because people in the comments were like, she should have stanned whatever, and it was really disrespectful, and I was just like, I don't care who started it. You can say, oh, the K-pop stan started it, but should have stan Luna. It doesn't matter who started it. It's disrespectful behavior regardless of who you stan. So it makes me really, like, so, I mean, I never really knew, like, who Goo Hara was or anything, but I just remember, like, hearing about that in passing. And, you know, it was like, that's really fucked up. That's really unfortunate, because actually the first celebrity suicide I actually remember was, not K-pop, but it was Avicii, in 2018. I remember when Avicii died, because I remember, you know, hearing about it, and I was just like, I always think of like these faceless EDM producers. I don't really think of like an actual person in there, and apparently, you know, he was like really, like, I mean, I knew he was an actual person, but it's just like a weird thing to like hear. I was like, the first time, like, I was really upset by that. Like, I wasn't like an Avicii stan or anything, but I was like really upset. I was like, what the fuck, like, that is just depressing, like. So because I feel like it's something that, you know, as someone who has struggled with, you know, at least moderate depression, and has had, you know, anxiety, and just like in general, I try to be really empathetic. I mean, I'm generally an empathetic person, so like I try to be really understanding of other people's struggles. So like I've never had an eating disorder, but I try to be like understanding of like eating disorders and like what people go through, you know. So like depression, I've been through depression. I've not been like in too many positions where I've been like suicidal. I've had a couple times where I've been suicidal, but it's usually pretty fleeting. But, you know, I've not been in a position where I'm like constantly suicidal or whatever. You know, but I really feel for people who are, because I genuinely, you know, I'm someone who, like, it sucks. Like, the depression that I have had, it sucks. And just imagining anyone having it more severely, honestly, I know this is like completely off base, but like if you're fighting depression in any form, but especially like at the more severe, you know, you are amazing. You are so brave. I love you. Like, I'll be that person, but like seriously, like it is anxiety, you know, anything, whatever disorder, you know, disease you have, like, you know, you're an amazing person. Just, I don't know what to say. It will get better. Work on, try to get meds, try to get therapy, you know, good therapy. But also just like try to find a support network, try to find things that help you, you know, like yoga, exercise, you know, just networking. Make sure you have friends you can talk to. Don't keep it in. Don't hold it in. I say that importantly, because do not hold it in. Holding it in is not healthy, and I'll get to that in a minute. But about So about, you know, I heard about Guhara, and I heard about Sully at one point, and I think at some point when I finally made the connection, oh, Sully was an FX, that really hit me, because I used to listen to FX all the time. And I was just like, whoa, what? But I had not heard about Jonghyun, and, you know, because I didn't know anything about SHINee other than I knew who Taemin was, I think. I don't even remember the timeline of getting into things, but I just remember someone, you know, talking about it in a video, and was just talking about, you know, these different things. I remember they talked about, like, Sully and Hara afterwards, you know, so, like, I knew, like, oh, yeah, like, I guess I knew that, like, suicide was a thing that happened in K-pop, or, like, was a thing that was, like, a problem, but I didn't, you know, I didn't know specifics. Someone was talking about it, you know, in a video, and I just remember, I was like, oh, this is really sad, you know, I didn't know, like, I don't want to be like, oh, my exposure to people is because of tragedy, like, I hate to be that person, like, I probably only know who Guhara is. I mean, if I had, like, followed K-pop, I knew who Kara was, but I didn't. So, like, the fact, I feel terrible for that, but it's, like, it's what happens. Like, it's just, but someone started talking about it, and, you know, they were, in a video, and, someone started talking about it, and, you know, and I was like, oh, this is really sad. I don't follow SHINee, I don't follow the group, but, you know, they read, you know, part of his letter, and part of, you know, I was just, but this was, I don't even remember when, but I just remember Taemin, I started, you know, following Taemin a bit, because I was interested in his music, and I, you know, I would start to read, like, comments on some of his songs about, you know, Jonghyun and about other things, and just, like, you know, I kind of let to piece together. It was something that, like, I really just, it made me really sad, and, like, I didn't know why, because I didn't, like, know or care about this group, or, like, any, like, like, I mean, oh, it's like, oh, it's normal to have empathy to somebody sad, but, like, I felt, like, really bad, and I was, like, I didn't know anything about them, but, you know, I started listening to Taemin more, and then I heard, like, 2 or 3 SHINee songs, and it was at a point where I really started having these feelings, and I'm like, why am I having these feelings, because, like, I literally don't know them, like, I think I saw a clip of them on some show, like Weekly Idol or something, and I was just, like, in love with their, like, personalities. Like, the thing about SHINee, I mean, to me, I didn't want to stand them. And I'll say this right now, I don't want to be that, I don't want to be, like, a downer of a person, but, like, I thought it would be too hard to stand them. I didn't want to stand them because I just didn't want to, because I was already having these emotions, you know, I didn't want to, you know, expound that, but, you know, I couldn't really help it. I started hearing more songs. I, you know, just fell in love with their personalities, you know, because I was in love with Taemin first, and then I fell in love with the rest of them, and I was just, you know, so just really fell in love with SHINee, and, you know, they're my ultimate group now, but I just remember when I was first getting into them, I was saying all this stuff, like, I had this, like, weird feeling, or this, like, intensity, it's like, and it was, like, this thing, where it's, like, I kept being, like, I'm, like, it didn't make sense to me, because it was, like, I miss him, like, I miss Jonghyun, and it doesn't make sense, because I never knew him, well, I didn't know him personally, and I didn't even know him when he was in the group, so it would make a lot more sense if you're, like, you used to watch him when he was in the group, or, like, you know, you were a fan back then, and then, you know, like, you miss him now, like, that makes a lot of sense, right? But, like, for me, I'm, like, I literally never knew this group in my life, and I'm, like, now, it's, like, oh, it was, like, really intense feelings I was having about something that I didn't understand why, and I was just, like, people are gonna judge me. People are gonna think I'm weird. People are gonna think I'm overreacting. That I have these feelings. So I basically bottled it. I didn't talk about it. I talked on Instagram a little bit about it. And I started making friends, you know, friends who were Shawels, and I was able to talk to them about it. But I didn't really talk to anyone in my life about it. Because it was something that I thought I would get judged for. But people would, you know, say, you're weird, you're overreacting. Why do you care about this random celebrity who you didn't even know? Like, it's, you know, that type of thing. So I thought people were just going to judge me for it. And, you know, I actually started, like, I felt like I had a really deep connection with him, which is, I'm not trying to, like, you know, put any sort of, like, oh my god, you know, any sort of, like, creepy, you know, anything like that, but I just started feeling really, like, you know, I think we're both empaths. I talked about being empathetic earlier, but, like, that's one thing that I think empaths tend to be. I'm not going to get into all my personal, like, ooh, beliefs, but speaking, and I'm not saying, like, I want to be clear, like, I'm not special. I'm not, like, I'm the only person who has this connection. But it's just, I do feel like, you know, I have those feelings. And it was really hard for me because I didn't really, you know, have an outlet for it. And I was just, it was just, I got more and more into the group, and I just felt, I talked to my friends. I started making amazing friends, you know, but it was hard. And it was a situation of, like, people know, you know, and, like, people, at least I had people who, like, I could share my feelings with. But, I don't remember when I started, like, opening up to people. And I had a lot of anger issues as well, because I was angry at companies, I was angry at, like, you know, different things that happened, his therapist, like, I had, like, a lot of really serious anger issues with it as well. It was, like, this fresh thing, even though it happened, like, 2 years ago, but it was, like, I just heard about it, and I was really mad. So I was, like, I don't know, like, it was really weird, but, like, the more I would hear things, and he's, you know, just an amazing person, and I'm, like, I just cannot, like, I just really struggled, like, so many things that could have gone differently, and I still struggle with it. I'm like, there's so many things, you know, that just, if this had gone differently, or if this had gone differently, like, here we live, like, there's just so many, like, but but the thing is that I really thought people were going to judge me. I thought people were going to be like, why do you care about this person? And I was not doing well mentally, because I was already struggling mentally for other reasons because of the pandemic. And I just remember getting really, you know, attached, and I would make all these shiny edits. I would make all these, like, I was just, and, you know, early on, before I was, like, such a hardcore stan, I did, you know, see some things I wish I hadn't seen. And now looking back, it's like, you know, I wish I hadn't watched that last Instagram live, or, you know, like, just kind of, like, things that I ran across that at the time, I was like, oh, this is interesting, or this is informative, but now it's just, like, I can't, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and, again, I've had a lot of really bizarre experiences. I've had, like, just bizarre experiences that didn't make sense, that were just, like, weird experiences, like, hearing Taman saying, this is good evening, because it was one of those like, do you know the note? And I'm like, oh, that's John Young, and then it was good evening, and I was really confused. And then, like, I've just had some downright just weird experiences I had, but then there's the whole thing with trigger warnings, and that people don't understand, and I get so frustrated with that. I don't want to go into, you know, go too deep into it, because I want to talk about that in a different video, but it's like the fact that people don't seem to understand triggers, death is triggering, these types of things are triggering. They don't put trigger warnings, and then we ask for trigger warnings, and then they're fucking assholes. So it's just like, oh, and then, oh, you're being sensitive, you know, you should also be being too sensitive. And I'm like, I can't deal with entitled stands of certain groups. Like, I'm not trying to call anyone out, but, like, there was this army who's like, oh, I miss Jungkook so much because he doesn't do lives anymore. And I'm like, BTS is active. You still see Jungkook. He's active. He's healthy. Like, he's not even in the military or some shit. Like, a lot of people have idols who are not active or have some other thing going on. It doesn't have to be, like, gone. But then it can be, like, a worst case scenario. You know, people who act like groups disbanding is, like, the worst fucking thing in the world. Like, I get it. It's sad. Like, you're allowed to be sad about a group disbanding, but, like, not to the point where it's, like, this is the worst thing that happened. Like, I don't know. Like, I get it. But it's just, like, I feel like there's a lot of entitled behavior, and there's just people who don't understand, you know, won't respect our space, won't respect, you know, and I feel like I've had a really hard time, and just people who continue to send hate and say vile things to idols, and it makes me upset, because it's like, how many times does it take before y'all will learn? And I just sometimes think I kind of just, like, lose faith in humanity. This is why I don't go on Twitter. But yeah, I think, but even on Instagram, I've run into some stuff that was really fucked up. I've run into triggers. I've run into some just weird stuff, overall. But it's something that also, when I first became a Shawal, I kind of feel like I didn't want to take anyone else's space. And it's something that I've, like, felt better about sharing over the years. Like, not over the years, I mean over the months, over time. I've gotten better about, like, sharing. But at the time, it was like, I can't say I miss him. I can't say anything like that, because what do my feelings matter? Because I'm like, I came in this year. Like, what about the people who were, like, fans for years? Like, you know, I'm like, it's kind of like, I don't want to take that away from them, right? That was how I felt. I'm like, I don't want to take away their experience, you know, with having those feelings. And, you know, I didn't want to take that away, but I still felt really connected. And let me clear that, like, I couldn't help but stand them. I absolutely love them. I don't regret standing them at all. I don't regret having Jeonyeon as a role model. I don't regret any of that. I'll be very clear. Like, that I don't regret. I tried, I didn't want to, like, that was my initial, like, I don't want to stand, but then I, you know, ended up with it, and I don't regret it. I'm glad I did. I met a really lot of amazing people. I think just SHINee are fantastic. I would share them with everybody. And around June, I remember, because I did start talking to my therapist a little bit about it as well, because it's very confidential. And around June, I remember I was really, like, shy about, like, talking to my dad about it. So I, like, talked to my, I didn't want to talk to my aunt about it, but I was, like, really upset because, so there was this there was this project, for 623, the date 623, it was because of a song that he wrote, just taking pictures of the moon. It's really stupid, but I don't mean it's stupid, but it's not something I have to, like, explain. Anyway, I wanted to do stuff, and I wanted, like, a light stick or, like, a glow stick or something. Like, I wanted something, you know, and I asked so I was really sick, because I went up, and I was, like, feeling really awkward, because I, like, wanted to talk to someone, and I was, like, close to, like, I was, like, because I guess, I mean, I felt like I would be judged. Like, I felt like people would, you know, judge me and be like, why do you care about this random person? And, you know, it's like, oh, he's not a random person, but you get the point. He's a special person. But, you know, it's like, it's something that, you know, people don't seem to understand. You know, I'm really close with my aunt, so I kind of explained it to my aunt, and I'm like, I know if it sounds stupid, and she's like, no, it's okay, you know, she was really nice about it. She's like, you know, I'll buy you, so I found the, like, aqua glow sticks. She's like, I'll buy them for you, you know, it was really sweet of her. I asked her to talk to my dad, ask about privacy, like, oh, don't ask, you know, what she's ordering, because I just felt really uncomfortable. And of course now I can order things on my own, because I have Amazon now, so I can just order things, but at the time I didn't, so it was like, you know, I'm just, like, she ended up being really understanding, and I was just I was talking to him, like, why am I doing all this stuff? Oh, and I started writing to him, and it was, like, really weird, because I had never written to my mom. I'd been told not to write to I had been told to write to my mom. People were like, when my mom first passed away, they were like, you should write to her, it'll help make you feel better, and I'm like, no, I hate that, like, that's stupid. I started writing to him. I didn't write to my mom. I felt bad about it, but I was like, I talked to her, but I don't write to her. It's like, because I'm still angry, like, there are things I'm salty about. So I talked to my aunt about it, and she's like, you know, she totally understood. She wasn't, like, mad at me or anything. I was just like, I don't want my dad to know, like, I write, like, you know. So I ended up explaining to my dad a little bit, and, you know, he understood. He was actually really nice about it, you know. He didn't pressure me, you know, which is good. So I started, like, opening up to more people a bit, because they were, you know, a bit nicer. You know, I opened up to another friend of mine. I'm still not, like, super open about it to the point where I'm, like, talking to all my IRL friends, like, about what happened or, like, how I feel, because that's just really awkward. But it's something that I've, like, talked about with my dad a lot, and talked about, like, I've actually really opened up. I've gotten to a point where I'm more comfortable with that. So again, I had my 18th birthday. I actually had a really nice birthday. Stuff was finally open. I was able to go to restaurants again. It was really great. You know, really great. I've had a pretty great time. You know, overall, but it's something that, like, is very, very important to me. Like, SHINee and Jeonyeon is very important to me, and I know that's, you know, random. I know that doesn't really have anything to do, but it is something that kind of, I mean, it got me thinking. Like, I just had a lot of thoughts. I still have a lot of thoughts, and I think about it a lot, and there's a lot of stuff that is emotional, a lot of stuff that is just hard, you know, to it, and I kind of just came to the conclusion, I'm like, I feel really sad about this, or, like, I want, like, all this time, you know, in April, whatever, I was like, I want to cry, and I'm like, why do I want to cry? Because that's not, like, why do I want to cry about this, and I don't want to cry about, like, other things that, like, you know, for years, I was like, I haven't been able to cry, and then, like, I haven't been able to cry properly for years. I only cried when, I didn't cry when my mom passed away. I cried when, at the memorial service, but not at the service, when I got home, because the toilet was broken. I cried on Christmas because I didn't get enough presents. I'm not joking. I know I sound like a fucking brat, but I was misplaced. It was misplaced. I was upset because it was Christmas, and it was upsetting to me, but the thing was misplaced, and I started crying because I just didn't know what else to do. I was exhausted. So, yeah, I have this thing where I just cry, at inappropriate times, and I can't cry when I need to, and I have this, like, awful bottled up feeling. It's terrible. And I used to just, like, always shove it away, because I think I had, like, these emotional walls built up for, like, 2 years, which is why I tell everyone, please don't hold it in. Please don't hold it in. If you know, if you're struggling with something, or just be sad. Like, be sad. If you're, be sad. Please be sad. Like, allow yourself to be sad. Don't just be angry and don't just hide behind a wall. Like, I get that. Like, please don't hold it in, because genuinely it's something that really messed me up, and I'm at the point where I still can't, you know, properly express emotions the way I really need to. I'm working on it, but it's something that I think is, you know, slowly getting better, but it's something that's, you know, I've really had to, like, think about, and, like, be open about with myself, be honest with myself, like, this is what I need to do, right? So, yeah, so that's about what I wanted to say. But when it comes to the reason I'm really concerned specifically about fall and winter is I always think, like, I'm getting better and, like, I won't be depressed. And then, like I said, what happened to last Christmas was I got so depressed. And it's always, I say it's always, like, Thanksgiving through New Year's. I get really, really depressed. I'm not sure why. It's because it's, like, the darkest time of the year, physically dark. I live near Pittsburgh. It's, like, cloudy fucking city. It's so cloudy. And in the winter, it is so cloudy. It's so dark. I just get depressed. There's just no light. I just can't. Like, I think I'm going to actually have to buy one of those sun lamps this year that, you know, simulates sunlight. I think I'm actually going to have to do that, because I'm just, like, I can't. I just can't anymore. Like, you know, and, like, it's so hard for me. I didn't even realize, like, I'm, like, affected by, like, the seasons. Like, I didn't realize that was a thing, but I'm, like, I'm depressed anyway, and then, like, when there's not light, it's just, it gets worse. Holidays for me are hard because, you know, you miss people, there's traditions you used to do. I mean, family, you know, it's just, and then also, it's just awkward. Like, I don't want to talk to certain people and just blah, 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 blah. And I think a lot of holidays are kind of stupid anyway. I'm not trying to insult anyone's enjoyment of a holiday. I hate to be a Grinch, you know, but, like, Christmas really just... I don't enjoy, I just can't enjoy Christmas anymore. I want to enjoy Christmas, but, like, for the last, and I can't enjoy Christmas anymore because it's for 5 years now. It was, December 20th, December 21st. My grandma passed away, you know, 5 years ago. In, you know, 2015, she passed away and of a heart attack, and my parents went to the funeral. That was, like, and to me, it's, like, yeah, that was upsetting, because I didn't go to the funeral, because I fucking hate funerals, by the way, just, but, yeah, I didn't get to get out of my mom's, though. I had to go to that one, but, what I was saying about my grandma is that they came back, like, the day before, and it was, like, you know, it was really sad, it was really sad, and it was hard for me, but, like, I thought things were gonna go back to normal after that, and then my mom got diagnosed with cancer, like, 2 months later, and it was just my life never went back to normal. So to me, like, December 20th in my mind, because that was when she had the heart attack, is the day that you know, everything changed for me. So I just have, like, a really bad association with that time of year already. And then I was just talking about SHINee and Jeongyeon and the fact that I'm already, you know, I'm a fan now, and December 18th. So it's, like, the fact that, like, all of that combined with October now, because October used to be an okay month, and, like, Halloween, I like Halloween, but my close family friend passed away in October last year. So it's, like, there's that, then there's holidays, then there's, like, personal stuff, and it's just, it's gonna be, like, even worse, I think, this year. And then there's also the pandemic on top of everything else, and, like, flu season, and, like, you know, she's gonna be, people are saying, oh, and it's like there's hope. It's like people are saying, oh, it's going to be really bad because there's going to be pandemic and flu season. But then other people are saying people are being more careful about, you know, sanitization and stuff, so maybe it won't be as bad, you know, like flu season. So I don't know. I'm going to get my flu shot, but yeah, it's something that I think is really, you know, hard, is just, I'm kind of dreading. I'm like, I'm doing great right now, but I'm like, once the days start getting short, and it'll sneak up on you. It'll sneak up on you, I tell you. Once the days start getting short, I'm going to, you know, really start struggling. And I used to really enjoy fall and winter. I want to enjoy fall and winter again, but it's just hard for me because, again, I really start struggling with all that. So hopefully, it's something that I will, you know, be able to work on. I'm trying to work on myself. I'm trying to be healthier, just, like, mentally really work on myself. So yeah, it's something that I kind of fight. I feel like, and the other thing I wanted to say is about the videos themselves. When I make videos, I try to make content for you guys to enjoy. I don't have high quality, so I was just saying, like, I'm trying to be, like, better, but, like, with reaction videos and stuff, I don't have any way to, like, capture the screen and also, like, capture myself reacting other than what I'm doing. I know how to screen record on iPhone. I finally figured out how to do that. That is a godsend. Now that I can screen record on iPhone and I know how to edit an iMovie, I can get clips and just make, you know, non-voice-over videos, just videos with clips in them, like lists and stuff. I can just do that now, which is awesome. That is fantastic. Some of my videos being in 360p, it's because it takes less space to upload it. So I try to upload them in 720p, but sometimes they're in 360p, depending on, you know, the what the video is. So again, I don't want y'all to get mad about that. But yeah, I try to upload them. I don't usually upload things in 1080p, it just takes too long. But again, doing this off my iPhone, but like the reactions, and people sometimes complain about background noise and stuff. I have fans on. It gets really hot here in the summer. I have White Noisemaker on, and honestly, when my dad is home, I feel more comfortable just having background noise on, because I don't like want him to hear every single thing I'm saying, you know. And especially when it's like late at night. And one other thing is that noise and stuff is just something that I feel is really you know, like background noise, it sucks, but like I'm like, but noise is just like, you know, it's kind of just how it is. And you know, people get angry at me no matter what style of video I make. A lot of times, you know, people get angry, you know, they like, oh, you don't pause your videos enough, you should pause and just keep talking, you talk too much. Whereas I'm like trying to avoid copyright, or like, you know, just things like that. Or I'm just talking because I want to talk. And like, people get mad at my videos sometimes. I just want to address like a few other like criticisms I've seen. I know this doesn't have anything to do with like opening up about personally, but I just want to say I mostly make videos for me. I make them for fun, and that's why I make videos. I don't make them because I'm trying to like be some sort of big name or anything. I just make them because I enjoy talking about what I want to talk about, and it's fun. But again, if you guys don't like my videos, I don't really care, but I kind of, you know, don't comment. Like, if you just don't like it, just don't watch it. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel. People complain about the styles of the videos. Like I said, you know, on the new reaction that I am uploading for the Super M song, I'm actually giving it more, I'm giving it more time. Like, I'm pausing and stuff. But if that would bother somebody else. Like, some people don't like the pauses. Some people like the pauses. It just really depends on who you are and what style of content you like. And again, about the quality of the recordings, I'm really just recording on an iPhone here. I don't really have any sort of software for that. So I would like to apologize for that. And again, it's just been like kind of a crazy year. The fact that I've learned how to screen record, iMovie edit, the fact that I've learned how to do certain things, I'm really proud of, you know, even the fact that I've learned to do things like that. Since I used to just really not know how to do any sort of editing, but you know, I'm a bit better at it now. But it's something that also, like, some of the things I say like tend to like offend people, and I just want to say that a lot of what I say in like reactions and stuff is a joke. Like, I'm just like joking about, you know, what I'm watching, or like haha, like kind of like a humorous thing. So I say that because like when I did the Big Bang solo, someone got mad when I reacted to Daesung's song, and I said he was acting creepy in the video, like the way he was dealing with the girls and stuff. And I was just joking. I just meant, oh haha, like if that guy was my you know, if that guy was doing all that stuff around me, I wouldn't want to date him, haha. That was like a joke, right? But then people like got mad at me and thought I was like actually saying he was creepy, or like trying to say he was a bad person or some shit, which is really stupid, because I wasn't. I thought people were mad at me about Seungri. I'm like, I was expecting people to be mad about that, but like, I didn't mean Daesung is like actually a creep in real life. I just meant the way he was acting in the video. I just thought it was like funny. I was like joking, which I know is sometimes I'm not very good at conveying like when I'm joking. So, but a lot of times the stuff I say is just like funny or exaggerated. You know, just for like when I watch something like that. Oh, and like the Baby Metal thing, like when I said they were a cult, I was just joking, and everyone's like, not a cult, not a cult, not a cult. It's like, it was just a joke, like, and, you know, I don't actually think they're a cult, like, you know, I just, like, I'm trying to think of what else, you know, I've been, you know, what else people have gotten mad at me for saying in my videos. Oh, the Blackpink, when I'm saying the Blackpink can't sing live, I wasn't saying Blackpink couldn't sing live. I was quoting the title of the video. I was reacting to a video that was called Blackpink Can't Sing Live. Okay. And people were saying, oh, don't watch MR Removed, don't trust MR Removed or something. I actually made a video recently about Blackpink, I ranked them vocally. I ranked them, you know, with rapping and dancing. So, you know, I looked into it. I like Blackpink. Obviously I like Blackpink, but yeah, so it's something that, you know, I wasn't saying Blackpink couldn't sing live. I was just reacting to the video to see if, you know, I agreed with, you know, the video had some clips of them singing poorly, some clips of them singing well. So, you know, it is what it is. So basically, a lot of times when people just jump to conclusions based on the title or like based on something I said, which is just a joke or just funny. Now, if I say something that's like actually offensive, like if I say something that's like actually really screwed up or offensive, let me know, because I have done that before, and it's just like not on YouTube necessarily, but like just in real life, I'll say something and then like even when I was chatting with my dad, I'll say something and then accidentally realized it sounded racist or something, and it's like just a joke or just something I was saying, but then I'm like, oh, okay, that sounded really fucked up. It's like I don't mean it, but I'm just like, I say dumb things sometimes. So if I ever do actually say something that's offensive, please let me know. Because I think, I just really like feedback on that. But generally, I'm just joking. If I say, oh, someone's a creep or whatever in a music video, I don't mean they're like a creep in real life, or like, I don't mean like, so I'm just teasing. So please understand that. And again, at the end of the day, if you don't like my videos, that's perfectly fine. I don't want anyone to feel forced to like my videos. You can just not watch them, honestly. I'd rather not have people nitpick my setup, because it's really the best I can do at this time. I don't have money for camera. I don't have money for like anything expensive. Even if I had it, how the hell would I use it? At least I finally have somewhat of a decent laptop, but you get the point. It's something that I think, is hard for me. So genuinely guys, if you don't like my setup, if you don't like anything like that, that's fine, but you don't have to watch it. You just genuinely don't have to watch it. But nitpicking every little thing, when I've explained multiple times that I'm bad at following directions, I'm bad at setting things up, I'm bad at doing things. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing it for any sort of, reason. I'm legitimately just making videos I enjoy. Like I'm just talking about things I want to talk about. So anyway, guys, sorry that was really long. I just wanted to get all that off my chest. I hope I hope you guys don't hate me yet. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much all I can think of that I wanted to, talk about. There's probably other things, but I'm not going to get into it right now. So anyway, guys, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.